So the other thing is on the video, he's going to play a little bit of an audio clip. You can't really hear it on the air, on the radio. It comes out great, but it kind of sounds a little funky. So you'll hear something start, then a big pause for whatever reason, and then we'll pick it up on the other side of that. Okay.
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 Good. Bad. I'm the guy with the gun.
Hey, hello, folks. Welcome to another edition of Firing Line Radio Show. This is Philip Naiman. I hope you're having a great day here, the last Saturday of the local deer hunting season. So hopefully you're on your way back to your house, successful with a nice animal in the back of your truck or whatever. Probably not in the back of your Prius, but I would like to see that. I think I'd pay some money to actually see somebody driving down the road with a Prius with a deer across the hood. That would be a good thing. So anyway, if you're doing that, rock on. Have a great day. Joining me today, I have two very special guests. I have Victoria and Andrew Harrison. These are two young shooters. They're doing very, very well. They just started some competitions. We're going to talk to them in a little bit and welcome them to the show. And I also wanted to, as we start off here, talk about some of the things that have happened this particular week. Now, as you know, we air the show on Saturday, and a lot of things happen between the time we record it when it hits you on the air. And this week, there are some very, very big discussions going on in the Supreme Court with the New York Rifle and Pistol Club versus the state of New York over concealed carry. Now, concealed carry is a right. You know, your Second Amendment rights clearly say that you can keep and bear arms, but oftentimes progressives who've been in charge of things like to muck it up, and they don't recognize our rights. So we have to end up fighting in the legal courts for what are our God-given explained rights in the Constitution, enumerated in the Constitution, given to us by God, but spelled out there for the people who don't get it. So we have that going on. There's been some great arguments, pro and con, well, not really con, but pro to defend this. And here's what happened with the state of New York is they said that we are a may issue CCW. We may give you one if you have good cause. A good cause would mean you donate a lot of money to de Blasio. Good cause would mean you're one of Andrew Cuomo's friends. Good cause would mean basically anybody who is a simple citizen in the state of New York is not going to be able to get a pistol to carry. Even in New York, my son just moved there a few years ago. He's going to med school. And it's almost impossible for him to buy a pistol. It's about a 1.5 year process. You think our 10-day wait is a bad thing in California. New York, it's absolutely horrible. It can be a 1.5 to 2 years. And it's almost not worth the time to go through it for him to buy a pistol in New York, since, you know, he's only there for school and he'll be gone soon. So he's got a 20 gauge. Anyway, that's the way New York is. It's actually more restrictive than California. And the state of New York has said that we're a shall issue, may issue. We may issue a CCW to you if you jump through all these hoops, pay all this money, and we like you. Now, the New York Rifle and Pistol Club have taken them to court. It's finally all the way up to the Supreme Court. And here's what it's standing on is the issue of the word bear, the right to keep and bear arms. New York is saying that you have the right to bear the arms in your house. Well, that's not exactly the correct terminology used there. They're also saying that you can't carry them in sensitive areas. And that has nothing to do with the Second Amendment either. So that's their point of view that they're coming out. They're arguing that, I love this. Justice Breyer, Kagan, Sotomayor, and Breyer are absolutely anti-gun. Breyer came out and said that he doesn't really like the idea of CCWs because guys will get drunk and start shooting the place up. Well, that's actually mostly just NFL players who take guns they shouldn't own, go to bars, get drunk, drop them, shoot themselves in the foot. You know, It's not the CCW people. And if you take a look at the 43 states that are shall issue states, you don't see that problem amongst that group of people. So idiot behavior is done by idiots. And most of the time, when you go through all the background checks required to get a CCW, you're probably not in the idiot class. They tend to weed those people out. So it's an important thing that we win here and that the Supreme Court comes together. So hopefully the people that Trump put on, the last two, thankfully Gorsuch is not on, but hopefully the last two people are going to vote correctly, and we should have something like a 6-3 ruling on this, which would be a great, great victory for all gun owners in the nation. Even though it's a New York deal, we still would be greatly affected by it if New York prevails and freedom loses. Second thing we have is the Kenosha trial going on with Kyle Rittenhouse. Talked about this a little bit before. One of the great things I've seen on this is the judge. The judge on this particular case has come out and he's laying down facts and he's telling the truth. And the fact that he drilled Jeffrey Toobin, I have a young lady on the show here. We're not going to talk about Jeffrey Toobin, but he's an idiot. The fact that he drilled him over his misrepresentation of case law was awesome. And he's commenting on a reporter from the bench. So that looks great. It looks great because he's also taking a look at the frame of mind of the people involved that were killed or shot that night. And, they're felons running around with guns, child molesters, just basically people we don't need anyway. So that's going to be a very interesting case to watch. I hope that Kyle is found not guilty. Okay, that's the update there on our news section. Also, November 20th, I'm going to try and go shoot the PRS out of West End. So that's coming up here. And November 13th, a week from today, would be the pistol match over at West End Gun Club. So guys, put those on your schedule, see if you can come on out there. I would say I'd buy you lunch if you beat me, but I'll go broke because I'm just not that good. So we'll just leave it at that. Let me get back to my guests here. Actually, let me introduce my special guests here. I have Victoria and Andrew Hutchinson. Guys, how you doing today?
Harrison.
We're doing good today.
Doing good. Now, those of you who are just listening on air and don't have haven't joined us on gab.com/Fireland Radio for the video portion of this, you might have heard that those are kind of younger voices than typically what I have on my show, right? This is the show for the old cranky guys. Well, on this side, we have the younger generation here. Now, Victoria, let's start with you. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I'm 16 and I've been shooting since I could pretty much walk, but I didn't start competitions until about 6 months ago. And my first one was a 3-gun. But I was really scared for that, and it happened to be a rainy day, so like not many people came, which actually ended up being good because I still shot it, but I wasn't as scared because there wasn't as many people. But after that competition, I ended up loving it, and I just dropped almost everything and just did shooting now.
So 3-gun. So, we've talked a little bit about that in a couple of our more recent shows about 3-gun, but for those people who we're on another planet, what is 3-gun?
A 3-gun competition is where you have a pistol, a rifle, and a shotgun.
Right. Those are the basic 3 guns. The rifle would be a carbine, like an AR-15 or a Ruger 9mm carbine, something like that, right?
Yeah.
And which shotgun did you use?
I used a Benelli M4.
Benelli M4. So, all right, guys. So I don't want to hear anybody tell me their 12 gauge kicks too hard when you've got this petite young lady rocking a Benelli M4 and scoring hits on that. So good for you. Andrew, how about you?
I started with a pistol competition at about like 6.5 months ago at Prado area, and then I did another and I really enjoyed it because I was getting like a lot better at it, and then we just kept going since then. Then we've brought some younger shooters like in to shooting there, and they've also enjoyed it and are trying to get more people into shooting.
So what pistol did you use?
I used my Glock 34. It's a Boogeyman custom slide with a Johnny Glock trigger, and then I have a lower. Then I have a standard Glock lower customized by Dave Mods.
I think Dad needs some kudos here. It sounds like he's not sending you out there unequipped. So congratulations there, Dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's nice. That's a nice rig. So not your standard Glock 34 off the bench. So very cool. Okay. So now obviously, does your dad shoot with you guys?
Yes, he does.
So
Yeah,
it's
Yeah, he shoots with us, but some competitions he isn't able to because he wants us to.
there's a height limit. So if you're over this line, you can't shoot this. Yeah. No. These are the jokes. Stick with us. So go ahead, finish your thought.
I lost my thought.
Dad can't shoot with you on some competitions.
Oh, because he wants to like help us more, so he's
More
So he-
coaching.
in it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right. So you guys started shooting very early when you could barely walk. Now, if somebody is not in a pro gun family, they may not understand what that means. What did that look like in your family?
We started shooting at like the age of. We started shooting with a 22 rifle and a revolver at the age about like of 3-ish, and then like just pretty much pulling the trigger, and my dad would like hold it with us, and then later on we'd start like
Is safety and control,
like
right?
yes, all
Absolutely.
safety.
Hey, folks, this is Philip Naiman, Firing Line Radio Show. Join us on gab.com/Firing Line Radio or on our YouTube channel, which you can find under the same name, strangely enough. We'll be right back here with Victoria and Andrew talking about young people getting involved in shooting and some of their winning ways right after this.
Do you mind if I grab a charger for my computer real quick?
Oh, you're good.
Got it.
Here we go. All right, you primitive screwheads, listen up. See this? This is my boomstick.
Hey, folks, welcome back to Boomstick Radio. This is Philip Naiman. Hope you're having a great Saturday out there. And, you know, as you're listening to the show, it's a lazy Saturday afternoon, right? You got nothing else to do. So why don't you head on down to Bullseye Sports Guns and Ammo in Riverside between Brockton, Arlington, and Central. Between Arlington and Central off of Brockton. He's right out there. Bullseye Sports Guns and Ammo. See Vince. Take a look at what he's got in stock. Some things are coming back up. So we are having more things are showing up on stores. And you may have noticed as you go to different stores, they're completely empty. He's got a great selection right now. So head on down there, whether you need ammunition, firearms, anything your heart desires. Talk to Vince. Maybe you have to talk to him privately about it, but talk to Vince, see what he can do for you. Bullseyesport.com, 951-823-0211, 951-823-0211. Thank him for the sponsorship of this show with your patronage, and he'll give you a good deal. Guaranteed. All right, folks, joining me back here, I have Victoria and Andrew Harrison, the not the Harrison twins, but brother and sister from the Harrison household. They're high schoolers. They're 16 and 14 years old, homeschoolers, which is why they're normal. But we got involved, or I shouldn't say we got involved. Your family and I crossed paths when the Turner's carbine match came up. I had fully planned on going to shoot the Turner's carbine match. I was very, very happy. I got squatted with who I wanted to squad with. And then my wife says, oh, by the way, that's the weekend we're out of town. So I ended up with I ended up with a donation to the club. And then Mike Bauer, who I had on the show last week, was smart enough to say, hey, instead of just losing your money, why don't we apply it to these two young guys over here that would like to shoot? So this is the best investment I've ever made. And I make investments for a living. So my investment of like $100 for the entry fee went to you guys so you could run it, and then you both won. So I would not have won. But the fact that my $100 sponsored 2 winners just made me super, super happy about that. So Andrew, let's start with you. Tell me about the Turner's Carbine match at West End Gun Club and what it was like for you.
I liked it because I'm more used to like using a pistol, and it could like get me out of the bubble to start up with AR. And since then I've been using AR much more, and also it taught a lot of like gun safety, like don't break the 180. And also it helped me with like smooth transitions too. And the best part about it was there's like super like close targets from 3 feet and into like 100 like yards, which helped out a lot.
Which
And
one
it
did you
helped.
like shooting better, 3 feet or 100 yards?
3 feet by far.
3 feet by 97 yards. Now you train with your AR. You brought this up a little bit earlier. Why don't you lift up your training tool you got there?
The training one.
So folks, this is his airsoft gun. That's why it's not California legal. But this is his airsoft AR-15. And I got to tell you, I think that we talked about this in several of our shows. You know, for the price of ammunition and the time to go to the range, if you have an ability to put up a little range in your backyard with an airsoft gun that's realistic and quality like that, you know, how has that helped your shooting, Andrew?
It's taught me very well with like reloads, because like I have the same lower as my Aries precision lower, so like everything's almost scale to scale, so it helps like doing smooth reloads, and also it helps with putting on safety and then mounting on like a VTAC wall. That helped a lot. And then also doing like junkyard good dog, getting used to that with an airsoft gun felt a lot more easier to do it with an AR later.
So what's the junkyard dog?
It's when you hold the gun like sideways on like a hood or like a
All right, so folks, so for those of you who aren't joining us on video, he's talking about laying the gun down on its left side. So it's flat across like a hood of a car or a tabletop or something of that nature. Kind of like if you were a gangster and you're holding it out one-handed style, but supported, right? So there's some interesting positions. And why would you have to do that? Well, you never know until you have to do that. But that's pretty cool there. So you like the AR-15, and did they have some of the different things like did you have a shooting star out there?
Yes, the one we did, there was a shooting star, and that
So
was
describe
hard,
that
but-
for people.
So it's like it's a big metal star that you put on some nice little clay pigeons on it, and you have to hit the clay pigeon inside of, but not the metal, because there's metal around it. And if you hit the metal, I'm pretty sure you lose points. But if you hit the clay pigeon, you get a lot of points. And every time you shoot a target, it spins more. So every time you hit it, it gets like a bunch harder. And it takes a bunch of time, because you're like, ooh, I might just wait for it to slowly stop moving. But
Yeah, you don't have
then
time
there's, like,
because it's a timed
40
event. Yeah, so the shooting stars are always a lot of fun. Some people have a little system. They like to shoot them a certain way, you know, start this one, or top to bottom or something like that nature. My theory is just if I hit one, I celebrate, keep trying. So it just keep throwing lead down range, and eventually, you know, something's going to walk in front of it. So that's the way I clear the shooting stars eventually. That, or I throw a hand grenade, which always comes in handy, but they don't score well for competition. Okay. What about some of the longer shots? Did you have optics on your rifle?
So on my rifle, I have it's just like a normal red dot, so it's not like really
It's not a magnified red dot.
not magnified. So it was pretty hard for me to hit the shots, because like I was just free eyeing it, like, I'm just gonna guess about there, and bang. And I'd be happy if I hit it, but if I missed, I missed.
You'd walk it in. So when you're dealing with something like a red dot, for those of you who don't have one, the red dot is an electric sight on your rifle. And I know you guys know this, but I have to say this because it's radio and they can't see the pictures. So I talk with my hands. Sometimes I have to explain what my hands are doing. So the red dot is an electric sight, turns on, and it's illuminated inside of your little small 2-3 inch scope looking thing. And the advantage on it is it's very easy for your eye to find over a crosshair. Disadvantages on them, and this might have run into you, Andrew, is that some of them are 3 to 6 minutes of angle.
Yeah.
The dot is big. And so that's great at 25 yards. But if you're trying to shoot a 3-inch target at 100 yards and your dot is twice that size, you're covering the entire target and then some. So you can run into some issues. So if you're going to shoot off of a red dot, try and find one that has the right size targeting reticle for the kind of shooting that you want to do. And if you're shooting a 1 MOA dot at 100 yards, you can't even see it. So it's, maybe a 3-inch, a 3 MOA is kind of a happy medium to be. And also you have to make sure that you have enough illumination on them. So when it's super bright and hot in the middle of September in Southern California, your red dot is powerful enough to actually be seen in the sunlight, right? You ever had that issue? Yeah. Okay. So what else how many rounds do you think you fired there, Andrew?
All
of them.
Of course, have about 30 shots. So I'd say about 300 rounds to 400-ish.
Yeah. So this is a lot of shooting. And so if you've never had an opportunity yet to shoot one of these courses, just understand you're going to be doing a lot of shooting and a lot of moving, right? What are some of the positions you had to shoot from?
There's a position that we had to go on
besides Junkyard Dog.
There's a position we had to go onto this wall that has weird angles on it. You had to shoot from each from a lower half, a higher half to a very tall thing. And one of the things, I was short at the time, so I had to get up there super high.
Short at the time. This was a month ago. Did you grow?
Yeah.
I grew a lot.
Good for you.
So it was pretty hard for that, but then we had one where we had to where we could choose to kneel or lay down-ish, and it was probably my favorite one because it's the easiest one.
Shooting from prone.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, so that's pretty cool there. And you got it shooting an Aries lower and a red dot on your scope. What would you say to somebody else who says, I can't believe, these young kids are shooting AR-15s?
That I've been trained with very good people. I've been trained with the Green Beret. Dane Brokos is his name, from Lead Foster Tactical. And he taught me a lot of gun safety. And so it's not really about the speed, it's more about the safety. And so as long as you're being safe, I think it's okay to shoot from any age.
Very good. All right, folks, we'll be right back. We'll talk with Victoria the next time we come back here. This is Philip Naiman Firing Line Radio Show. Join us at gab.com/Firing Line Radio after this. Good. You need a break? All right. We're going to rock right through.
I do.
Not you.
But I always need a break.
Jeez. It's not always about you, Dan.
Oh, come on.
Don't cry, but it's not always about you.
Cry yourself to sleep.
That was the 14-year-old, Dan.
You're so mean.
Smart. Intelligent.
Hey, Dan, cut that clip. We're going to use that for a promo.
I wasn't recording, unfortunately.
I got it. It's on this one. All right.
You ready?
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Spartans! Lay down your weapons! Come and get them!
Hey folks, Moulin Labe Saturday. Hope you're having a great day out there. Philip Naiman Firing Line Radio Show. And I want to take this particular moment in time to go over the fact that, in case you didn't know, Fakebook is not our friend. We have a large following on Facebook. We have the group. We have a bunch of stuff going on there, but they are grinding down all freedom loving Second Amendment type peoples. And that is eventually going to disappear. So to try and be proactive on that, we have joined Gab, G-A-B, gab.com/Firing Line Radio. That's where our posts are going to start going. All you guys out there in the group, you need to move over, get an account, start following us there, because one day we're going to wake up and Zuckerberg is going to throw a temper tantrum because he's looked in the mirror and sees he has no eyebrows, and he's going to stop all Second Amendment stuff on his, and he has the right to do that. We don't want to see it happen, but it could happen. So everybody's getting backup accounts. We've been talking about this for 6 months. Join us over at gab.com/Firing Line Radio. I do have a YouTube channel that we're posting these on also. Obviously, it's called Firing Line Radio. So check it out there, because Facebook is going to be going away from us. Not that, I'd love to just say we're going to quit it, but I don't want to leave the audience behind. We need to have you guys move. So I know doing something is a big thing, but hey, you've got to do it or you're going to be left alone. And there'll be zero Second Amendment stuff on Meta or Facebook or whatever they're calling it today. All right. Hey, joining me, folks, here, I have Victoria Harrison. She is the second part of this dynamic duo of the Harrison household. Victoria, how's your morning going?
Pretty good. I just did a workout and some homework, so it's a pretty good morning.
Very good. And so you started shooting. You said earlier that you started shooting at about age 3. So tell us about some of the family outings that you guys were involved with on that.
Well, we pretty much always went out to the desert to shoot like almost every Saturday since I was little. Like once a month, every Saturday. But I never really liked it. My parents would make me go, and I would not want to. I hated it. I didn't like any part about it. I didn't like the dirt. I didn't like the noise. I didn't like the gunpowder smell. I didn't like anything. But I'm a very competitive person, so I didn't start liking shooting until my dad made me do a competition. And then I loved it because I just love anything competitive. And so that just made me really like shooting, because I never knew that it could be competitive, because I was just used to like plinking pretty much because I was still little. So I couldn't really do anything else.
So what was your first competition?
My first competition was the 3-gun competition at Weston Gun Club.
How long ago was that?
That was about like 6.5 months ago.
So unfortunately for your dad, he decided to get you guys up and engaged in competitive shooting with this kind of round count at this stage in time when everything's super expensive. So yeah, there goes the family savings plan, right?
Yeah, no more college. No more college. Just
Yeah. Is anybody giving away shooting scholarships at USC? Probably not.
probably not.
Oh, very cool. So what type of firearms are you using?
I pretty much always used my Glock 34 for pistol competitions, and my
Is
AR.
it the same makeup as Andrew's?
No, it's a little different. It's a Salient Arms.
Dad, again, hats off. Nice. Well, I shoot a Glock 19, and it's called the black box edition because it comes out of the black Tupperware box and we shoot it. And that's the way that works. So tell us a little bit about the pistol.
It's a modified grip because I have small hands, so I can actually hold it and shoot it. And the trigger's really light, and it's only 3 pounds because I don't have very big hands.
So the weight of the gun is 3 pounds, or your trigger's 3 pounds?
No, my trigger's 3 pounds.
Yeah. So, normal folks, if you ever get a Glock out of the box and run a trigger weight scale on it, first thing, your trigger weight scale is going to complain because it has to pull so hard just to make the gun go off. I mean, they're like 8 pounds out of the gate. So it's a horrendous trigger that Glock comes with, and that's their safety device, right? But if you are trained to shoot and if you practice correctly, a 3-pound trigger on a pistol is really an accurate trigger. I think it helps you hold on target better. It helps you not pull a shot. And once you understand where it breaks and it's clean and you've shot thousands of rounds through it, as I'm sure you guys have done. You know, a 3-pound trigger is a very safe trigger for most people who are trained. It may be considered an unsafe trigger for idiots, but we don't care about idiots. So you're on your own. The guys in the nightclub sticking it in the front of their pants. Yeah, whatever. Stuff happens. It's probably a good thing that shot himself. I don't know, but we're not in that crowd, so we don't really care about that. Other than we hope they don't hurt anybody innocent. So a 3-pound trigger on a Glock 34 is a great thing, especially for competition. What kind of holster do you have?
I just getting shipped a new holster from Black Sheep Holsters. They just sponsored me, and so I got like
Ooh.
my like color, because like, and my like favorite color is turquoise, so it's all turquoise and it has like my name on it and stuff.
Well, that's pretty cool. Black.
Yeah.
So is it, does it have retention? Is it, what is it set up for, like IDPA, or is this more of an IPSC run and gun holster?
No, it's just or attention tactical.
Retention tactical. Okay. Very cool. Very nice. Any other sponsorships we should know about?
We got free plate carriers from
From Tier Tactical.
Tier Tactical, and I get some discounts on like Viacandi, the clothing brand, for like their pants, and I got a discount on Solomon shoes. Solomon.
Very good. Nicely done, guys. Nicely done. All right. So what is the carbine that you shot?
Or what?
So in your 3-gun, what was the rifle you shot?
I shot my AR-15.
Okay, just regular 223. And what kind of an optics setup did you have on that?
The rifle's a Troy.
Troy Defense, yeah.
The optic
the
is an
optics?
aim point optic, and it has a sight razor on it. And her lower is like a Bushmaster lower. It's not a Bushmaster lower, never mind. It's
Troy.
and then the upper is a Troy Industries lightweight upper with a.
I actually did a tour of Troy Industries when I was out on the East Coast. We went to Boston for work, and we decided to try and find some places. Did a tour out there. Pretty interesting place. The guy has a lot of good ideas. He actually had a pump AR-15. I thought we were going to have to get those in California back in 2012 when everybody was going crazy about semi-autos. But you know, there's always a workaround, right? Oh, okay. So Troy Upper 223 and you're shooting a Benelli M4. Tell me about your Benelli M4. That's a big gun.
She doesn't know much about it, so
I don't know much about guns. I
just win.
yeah, I just go and shoot. I don't do any of the add-ons.
It's pretty stock. There's not much on it. It has a Terran Tactical slide release on it, and that's about it. My dad put like some shell holders on the side of it, and it has a lead frosted tactical sling on it, 2-point sling, but that's about it.
No, it's a great gun. And one of the great things about that Benelli M4 is that, you know, they run dirty. And I've got a Benelli. I've had it since 98. I've cleaned it once and it runs great. So that's the best part about it. Just you knock the potatoes out of the barrel every 10,000 rounds and keep on going. And, you know, it's not like an 870 or a 1100 Remington that, you know, gets gooey and gets sticky and has problems. Those things, they love to just run dry and run hot and run dry and keep on going. So that's a hell of a gun you got there too. All right, guys. So what would you say to somebody else who's your age, who's thinking about shooting? I mean, I shouldn't say you must. Has it been in your experience that you ever run into kids your age? You say, oh, we shoot. And they're like, oh, guns are bad. I mean, what's the attitude that you run into?
Most people are kind of like stunned, especially when I say that I shoot, because I guess most people like wouldn't expect a girl to shoot or even a kid to shoot.
See how leftists are sexist? See that? Leftists are just sexist.
Yeah, but most people like aren't like scared that I shoot. I feel like they don't understand what it is, and they like, because most people like they've never experienced anything like this.
And so
Um,
do you take them out, or how about, go ahead, Andrew?
So some people at our school, like, let's just say they go like, oh yeah, I shoot too. I go into the desert and shoot. And I'm like, well, that's good for you, but we do more like tactical and like competitive shooting. And they're like, oh, nice. And then also like we bring some kids from our church, like shooting. They like, we've brought like several people out, and they've come out like several times after that. They've thoroughly enjoyed it, and they're like,
Okay.
I
Well,
love
we'll talk about that more as we come up here. Folks, Philip Naiman, Firing Line Radio Show. We'll be right back after that, after this. Let's talk about getting other people involved and being a bit of an ambassador, huh?
The best thing about Benelli's though is that you can shoot a slug at 100 yards.
About the what?
With like Benelli's, they're super easy to like just get used to, and you can shoot like slugs up to like 100 yards.
I've got a single shot that I picked up from Fowler's gun room in Santa Ana like 100 years ago for $40. I just love the way the gun fit. And, it was one of those cheaper guns, the Stevens, like from the 30s, but the gun just fit me so good that I had to write. Anyway, so yeah, you're hitting like coffee cans at 100 yards with these slugs with this no sight other than the front bead. So yeah, it can be done. And I tell you what, you throw a 1 ounce slug at 100 yards, that is so much power going down range. I mean, the slugs are just hellacious with the devastation that they have on a target. You want to break something, hit it with a slug. But that's cool. So you're accurate enough to go 100 yards with that Benelli. And the good part is being the semi-auto, it doesn't beat the crud out of you like that old light 4.5 pound single shot. you shoot a slug with that, it slugs you back.
It hurts more coming back than going out.
It could. Well, I don't want to be on the other side, but it hurts enough. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Let's talk about getting others involved and kind of being ambassadors for the sport here coming up. Okay. Dan, you ready?
Here we go.
Yes! Great hunter. Yes? Fine figure of a man. Yes? Yes?
Yes.
That is all you need to know for now.
Hey folks, Philip Naiman, Firing Line Radio Show. Welcome back here. Join us over at gab.com/Firing Line Radio. In case you haven't heard, Facebook is not a good Second Amendment platform. So all of you in the group page and everything else, join us over there. You're going to get left behind. You're going to wake up, be deleted, and then wonder what happened. And, I'm just going to have to say I told you so. So get over there, get involved at gab.com/Firing Line Radio. I don't know about Trump's new thing. We may look at that, but keeping up with social media can be a full-time job. So let's just go with gab.com/Firing Line Radio and call it good from there. Joining me back here, I have Victoria and Andrew Harrison, the Harrison kids. These are awesome young people. They're doing well in school. They're in sports. They're healthy. They have the right mindset in life. You were just talking about your church, taking some people out to church for shooting, and you're talking about other people in your school who go shooting, but they kind of go, just the regular planking, which is great, and how you're actually a little bit different. So you guys are kind of ambassadors for the sport here now, especially Little Miss sponsored over there. So why don't you tell us a little bit about the church group is, just as we left this last session here. Pick it up from there if you would, Andrew.
So there's one of my friends' dad owns like a car facilities. Go check it out, Ribbon Imports. And he gets like buses and stuff all the time. So he has this big green bus that like can hold like 16 people. So we fill half of it up with guns. And then we bring like 8 people out, like mostly kids, some adults. And we take them shooting to the Prado Olympic Park Wednesday Night Steel Challenge by Titan Ballistic, who sponsors it. And then they like enjoy it, and they've asked to come out again, and they keep coming out for recently, but then like it's kind of like we stopped, and they got hooked onto it and they like it. That's
So tell us about the steel challenge over there at Prado.
yeah. I didn't go to the last one, which was the Halloween one. It looked awesome, but Steel Challenge there is a nice, good starter one because it's not too competitive, but you can be super competitive in it. And it's also like a good training, and it's great for beginners because it's like just teaching. It's not like running and gunning around obstacles, but it's like shoot here and then move to the next box and shoot, which is great for like beginners because like it's teaching them gun safety and also accuracy from like close range to like 20 yards on a iron sight pistol.
Very good. How many rounds do you typically shoot for that?
Typically only like 100 a person.
Okay, so that's not too expensive, right? Yeah, especially when dad's paying for it.
Yeah.
There goes the college funds again. So that's one way. And you said those are people from your church that you bring out.
Yeah.
What are some of the other ways? You talked about it in school. You know, I wonder, do you ever have conversations with teachers when you do have your classes that talk about shooting? I know you guys are doing some homeschooling, but you do have other interactions. What is the attitude that you run into?
Most of my teachers there are like super Republican and good. Like my math teacher thinks it's cool that we're shooting, and then my science teacher thinks it's awesome because like he's like only got, I'm guessing like 22 years old, and he's super nice, and he's like, "Oh, that's awesome that you're shooting," and I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna try. I think I'm gonna be on a podcast soon on Firing Line Radio." I didn't know what it was called, AM like 590, but I was like, "You should check it out sometime," and he's like, "Yeah, I'll look into it," and so he might be listening, might not. It'd be cool if he is.
Well, I'm going to give him an F if he doesn't.
Yeah.
I have that power. I have a red pen and I can make an unhappy face if he doesn't listen.
Oh, he's gonna be upset.
So this podcast. So as you know, we're going over the air AM 590 at 1:00 on Saturdays, but the podcast is available, as I've been saying, at gab.com/Firingline Radio, at firinglineradio.com, and on the YouTube. So there's really no excuse. For those of you who haven't heard the show before, you're just ignorant. You're ignorant and should get over it. All right. So what else would you say to somebody who just has a complete misunderstanding? Let's run this through here, because I'm sure you run into these situations. All of us, we need to have our best foot forward when we're talking to people about the Second Amendment. You run into somebody who's totally against, or their mom is totally against guns, right? And they find out that you shoot a lot and now they don't want them to go to your house. How do you handle stuff like that?
Well, I don't use like a gun as like a dangerous weapon. I use it more as like a sport. So like, let's say they play soccer, they use their cleats, and like those are dangerous. They can cut people. Or like a baseball
More
bat.
people are killed in some of the basic sports like football and baseball and soccer. They're killed with boredom from soccer. But
That is true.
Or fake outs.
yeah, fake outs, exactly. Yeah. Anyway, soccer, the bane of existence. It's a communist sport. They get one ball, they get 30 people busy for 5 hours. Anyway, that's what's happening with that. I know I'll get hate mail from soccer moms, but get your kids to play rugby and then we'll talk. Okay. So you run into those situations and you have to kind of describe that this is a tool. This is what we do. It's a safe environment. Do they open up after that?
I've only run into like one Karen-ish person, and it wasn't like a bad experience. She's like, "Yeah, I think it's like great that you guys are learning gun safety, but I just don't want my kids doing it because I don't want them getting used to guns, and maybe they'll do something dangerous with it when they get older." I'm like, well, they just have to have correct gun safety, and then like you have to raise them well so they don't like go crazy when they get older.
Yeah, well, they can be an idiot in several different disciplines, not just in firearms. They can be
Yeah.
an idiot with drugs, an idiot with drunk driving, an idiot just being an idiot. Anybody who wears their pants below their butt cheeks, all those kind of stupid things that people do, right? So there's more than one way to be an idiot. And the firearm part, I think, when you learn responsibly, and it sounds like your pops over there has done a heck of a job. My hat's off to him. It sounds like when you learn responsibly, and you have the respect for it, and it's a family thing, you're probably the safest people out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. For those of you who aren't watching the video, Andrew just yawned at me. Jeez, no respect.
I'm tired.
No respect. Hey, it's got no respect to you. All right. So what else would you want to tell somebody?
You should come check out our Instagram.
Oh, okay. Where's this at?
It's shred _ barrel at _556 on Instagram.
That's a long handle. Shred the barrel 556 with underscores in between.
Instagram's a little shorter. Mine's just Brass Slinger.
Brass Slinger. That's a good one. All right. So shred _ we're on Instagram too. Strangely enough, under Firing Line Radio Show. Shred the Barrel 556 and Brass Slinger. We'll have to check that out. All right, folks. So follow them out there. These are two young people that are doing a great job. I want to thank them very much. And again, here we are. We're talking about the safe, effective use of firearms, going through our rights, standing up for our rights, having a great little ambassadors here for the Second Amendment, for shooting sports in general. Obviously they're hanging out over there at Prado Wednesday nights, the West End Gun Club, a couple of great places, probably shoot at Rahagi's whenever they can. So we've got some great ranges out here. We have some great opportunities. If you've not been involved in firearms, you can find an instructor, talk to Chad, talk to Pat Rahagi, West End Gun Club, find a member and become their best friend, buy them dinner. I understand if you buy a member a dinner, he might let you go shooting out there. If it's Ruth Chris, you've got my number. Anyway, so we can be bribed at West End Gun Club, but you want to get involved. You want to get out and you practice, and you have to understand the safe use of firearms. It's extremely important, the safe use. You're going to have a time, if you ever have to use it defensively, that you're going to be in a panic mode, whether you wake up in the middle of the night because a door's been crashed in or something surprises you at the mall and you've got to reach for your firearm. Having thousands of rounds of practice, whether you are drawing and firing or anything else, thousands of rounds of practice of just even drawing and dry firing is going to be the difference that's going to keep you safe. So these kids are starting off early, and it sounds like they're having a lot of fun. I don't want to compete against them, so I will just continue to help them on the back end. I'll sponsor here and there, but don't show. If I show up, let the old guy win. All right,
We'll have mercy.
I'll take it. I'll take it and I'll brag about it. That's how bad I am. All right, folks, I want to thank my special guests, Victoria and Andrew Harrison. They're absolutely awesome. Check out Andrew at shred _ the barrel _ 556 on Instagram, and Brass Slinger for Victoria on Instagram. Philip Naiman, Firing Line Radio Show. Get us at gab.com / Firing Line Radio Show. God bless you. Have a great weekend. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. So that's it for that. Hey, thank
Alrighty,
you.
we
You
got
guys
you.
were awesome.
Thank you so much for sponsoring us for the Turner's event.
Yeah, thank you.
I'd like to take credit for it, but it was an accident. So
It was a good accident.
exactly. Mike Bauer, he made a silk purse out of a sow's ear. So it all came out good. So we'll see you guys around, and I hope you're doing well and keep going into school and stay out of trouble. And I think your dad's got a great, where's your dad? Is he in the video there?
Yeah, he's right over here.
Jonathan.
Dad.
He's right here.
Thank you very much for sponsoring the kids.
Oh, not a problem. I just wanted to say thank you for raising some great kids, man. That's awesome. And hopefully we'll
I only
see
did
you
half the
around.
work. All right, definitely we'll see you.
I see
And we're
the
gonna
same
try to do
thing.
the same shooting event that you're doing at West End Gun Club in November
13th.
13th.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm about a 70% on that one, but I will try. We just bought a place in Prescott. So,
Oh, we want to move to Prescott also.
well, there you go. So my wife is actually there right now. We just closed escrow on it yesterday. And so my
Nice.
I want to shoot the PRS on the 20th, but I think I have to go out there and do some work. So anyway, if I can do it, I'm going to be there, and it'd be great to meet you guys.
Definitely, it'll be good to meet you and to
All
shoot
right.
with you.
Oh, thank you. And
right,
you
thanks,
guys have a
Philip.
great day.
All right, you have a blessed day.
Thank you.
All right,
God
bye.
bless.
All right. You ready for a promo?
I am ready for a promo.
I gotta get in front of the mic. You can't hear me. All right. Is it running? Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
All right, let me stop the recording here.